guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kenosha. Thank you guys so much for watching and for subscribing. And if you're new here, hey, what's up? And if you like what you see, then be sure to like this video and subscribe. So today is my second trimester update, and it will be my updates for weeks 15 and 16. Okay, so with week 15, so basically just with weeks 15 and 16, just in general, I have been feeling so much better. My vomiting is completely gone, knock on wood somewhere. And I've just been feeling really good. Like, I've been back to eating my regular diet, so what I was eating before I got really sick. I've just been feeling so good. So, and I've even started incorporating exercise again into my life. So I just am really happy with all those changes that have been happening over the last couple of weeks. So let me just go ahead and look at Baby Center really quick to let you know how big baby was at 15 weeks. So at 15 weeks pregnant, my baby was approximately the size of an apple, which is 4 inches in length and about 2.5 ounces in weight. So baby was able to move all of its joints and limbs, and it had taste buds that were forming, so it's able to taste some of the yummy foods that I've been eating. And yeah, that's pretty much all that was happening with baby during that week. I mean, obviously a lot more, but just at a high level. So with me personally, during 15 weeks, my symphysis pubis dysfunction started flaring up. So I've had SPD, which is what it's called for short, is when your pelvis is becomes unstable. So the two bones, I think there's like 2 bones or whatever in the front of your pelvis, and those bones either rub together or just kind of hit each other in a very unstable way. So, and that friction just creates incredible pain in the front of your pelvis. And I think some women even have it in a different location of the pelvis, but mine has always been located directly in the front of my pelvis. So, and like I said, I've had that with every single pregnancy. And 15 weeks, I think, it's pretty much on par with how soon I've had it with my last couple of pregnancies. So with my first pregnancy, it happened much later in my pregnancy. But I remember last time, I think it was about the same time. I think I was 16 weeks pregnant when it started flaring up with my last baby. So week 15 is pretty much on par with that. So my mom ended up buying me a support belt for so you just put it around your hips, so a low around your hips or whatever, so that you're able to tighten it around your pelvis. Right now I'm feeling fine. So these last week or so I've been feeling pretty fine with my SPD. But week 15 was really bad, and I was on and off using my belt and relying on it to kind of keep everything stabilized. So for me, the pain comes and goes. So I just kind of deal with it as it comes. And if it's bad enough to where I'm not walking well, then I will get my belt out so that I have that extra support. So what else did I notice in week 15? So yeah, I wrote down that I was at week 15, I was more than a week without vomiting at this point. And I no longer had my extreme nausea either. So I was just very excited about that. Yeah, so I've been having really sore nipples for much of my pregnancy, and week 15 that continued. My baby kicks were feeling a lot stronger this week. So I feel like baby is so shy. And I really only feel the baby a couple of times a day. But when I do feel the baby, the kicks are getting much stronger. And during this week 15, I was noticing that for the first time that the kicks were much stronger. And the kicks were also happening a lot in a row. So when I do feel the baby, I feel the baby a lot more active in one moment, you know, and not so sporadic. Okay, so something else that was different in week 15 was that I no longer had that consistent bad taste in my mouth, and I think that just really kind of goes hand in hand with no longer being nauseous or vomiting anymore. So I no longer have that constant, like, just nasty taste in my mouth. So that's really it for week 15. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot going on. So week 16 was kind of a more exciting. I had 2 out of the house visits that I had to go to. So I had a dentist appointment at 16 weeks and 2 days pregnant. So that was good that I was able to be seen and kind of just address like the bleeding gums and everything like that. But he always tells me just to continue to floss, just kind of like get through this period of, you know, the very sensitive gums. So I'm just gonna keep flossing and deal with the blood because it's not making me nauseous anymore. So there's really no other downside to it. And something else that I just wanted to add too is that, you know, not taking care of your teeth can lead to preterm labor. And since I already had a premature baby, I'm going to do every single thing that is in my control to make sure that does not happen again. So I'm gonna keep flossing and make sure that my teeth are in tip-top shape so that that's not, you know, any cause for concern for my pregnancy. So anyone who's pregnant out there, be sure to take care of your mouth and see your dentist because it's very important. What else happened this week? Okay, so I have been breaking out. So I officially have the skin of a 15-year-old. Yay me. So I started breaking out again pretty bad during the very beginning of my 16th week of pregnancy. So I wrote down 16 weeks, 0 days, and 16 weeks, 1 day is when I was getting a lot of forehead and chin breakout. And I mean, I'm not a makeup person, so I just live my life naturally, like especially during this time when I'm not ever leaving the house and I work from home anyway, so no one except for my family is gonna see me, so I just wear my skin naturally. But so I don't really care if you guys can see the horrible state of my skin, but I'm having some major breakouts down here and right along my forehead. I mean, the temple of my forehead, just really bad, all the way down to like right around my ear area, like right there. So yeah, I don't really know what to say about that. Yeah, this baby is not being kind to my skin is really just all what I have to say about that. So I don't know, guys, but yeah, my skin is jacked right now. So, oh well. Okay, so I also wrote down 16 weeks and 4 days and 16 weeks and 5 days. I had an increase in libido, and I wanted to make note of that because that has been a symptom that is new for me in pregnancy. I usually have a very, very low sex drive when I'm pregnant. With my girls, I had absolutely zero desire for pretty much all of my pregnancy. And, you know, and I just figured that that was just me. I was like, pregnancy and me just, you know, we're just not into the lovemaking during that time, you know? I'm trying not to be TMI about this, but it's pregnancy, so that happens, sorry. So that has been kind of a nice change for this pregnancy. And I will say, during my pregnancy with my son, I did have a spike in libido at some point. I don't remember when, but I do remember that that was like the only pregnancy, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what if I'm having a boy, you know? And I ended up having a boy. So now I'm convinced that, I'm kind of convinced, I'm not gonna say I'm fully convinced, but I'm kind of convinced, leaning towards this baby number 4 might be baby boy number 2. So we'll see. And for 16 weeks, 5 days, that was my midwife appointment number 2, which is always super exciting to go chat with her and to be able to hear the baby's heartbeat because it's always so long before I can hear the baby. So baby's heart rate was 155, which is the exact number that it was the very first time that I saw my midwife. So this baby has been consistent in its heart rate. Also, I am so happy to say that I am up 4 pounds from the last midwife appointment that I had at 12 weeks, 5 days. So in, what's that, 4 weeks? So in that 4-week span, I gained 4 pounds. So that's pretty good, gaining 1 pound a week. Also, something exciting that we talked about during this midwife appointment was that my anatomy scan, she put in the order because so she doesn't do anatomy scans in her office. So I have to go somewhere else. So I'm just gonna go to the hospital that I have here in town. So she just puts the order in, and then my hospital is gonna call me to schedule. So she recommended that I schedule around 22 weeks because in her experience, you're just able to see everything. So she said that she's had some clients who go in right at 20 weeks and sometimes they have to go back again for another ultrasound because the tech wasn't able to see everything that they needed to see. So she just kind of encouraged me to go just a few weeks later to ensure that everything will be seen and that, you know, baby will be like just at the right age. So I will do that because I just feel like my babies always tend to be a little smaller anyway. So I just feel like that's probably best to give myself those couple weeks to make sure that baby is where it should be. So what else happened in week 16? So I started working out again. So I started just doing like these simple spinning babies exercises. So that's something that my midwife sent a resource to me regarding to just make sure that the baby, especially when I'm further along, that the baby stays in an optimal position, so head down. And then also just to strengthen your pelvic floor. So I've been doing and they're really simple exercises. So it's just like mainly doing squats, doing like some yoga poses and stretches just to kind of keep, you know, everything kind of like open, keeping your pelvis strong and keeping, you know, just keeping like the right muscles engaged or whatever. So I've just been kind of doing that, going through like a 20-minute like stretching and yoga and squat routine. Oh, and I just realized that I forgot to say how big baby was at 16 weeks. So at 16 weeks pregnant, baby was the size of an avocado. So baby was about 4.5 inches and about 3.5 ounces. So that's exciting. So baby is going through a growth spurt at this point, and baby's hair has started coming in a little bit, and the heart is pumping 25 quarts of blood every day. So that is what was happening in the world of my baby at 16 weeks. So continuing on with what was going on with me. So I also ordered my breast pump through Aeroflow around the 16th week mark. And it's going to be coming to me sometime this week. So I ended up ordering a Spectra S2. That's the pump that I had a couple years ago. So I'm just going to get it again. Had a really good experience with it. And also, if you guys are interested, this will be my 4th time breastfeeding one of my babies. So I feel kind of like an expert at this point in breastfeeding. So if that's a topic that you guys are interested in, I would really love to get together some content to be able to share some of my helpful tips and tricks that I've learned over the years since, yeah, it's literally been years that I've been breastfeeding children. So, yeah, that's really exciting. And what else did I write? So for 16 weeks, I did write a note here that my SPD, so my symphysis pubis dysfunction, so that pain in the front of my pelvis, had not been bothering me too bad during the week 16. I did have a few pains where I would be standing up or like walking and I would be like, like kind of gasp and just kind of stop because that pain is just so sharp when you feel it. But it wasn't enough for me to like get out my belt again. But it was just, you know, painful enough for me to be like, oh my gosh, ow, that hurt so bad. So that's happening. Definitely feeling heavier this week, even though like I'm not gaining that much weight that quickly, but I definitely like just feel like baby is taking up a lot of room. So that's really all I had for weeks 15 and 16. So but anyway, thank you guys so much for your continued support and for watching this channel and watching this journey. as I get my V back to baby number 4. So talk to you guys soon. Thanks. Bye.